Forged in the Barrens comes out on Tuesday the 30th, and today I want to take a look at 5 of the decks that I'm most excited to play. I don't want to waste too much time, so we're going to jump right into things. If you guys enjoy this video and this type of content, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and to leave a like. It helps me out a ton. All the decks can be found in the description below, and without further ado, let's jump right into the first deck that I'm looking forward to playing in the newest expansion. Alright, so the first deck that we're taking a look at is Control Warlock. It doesn't feature like a whole slew of new cards. In fact, most of the new cards are actually from the core set, not really Forged in the Barrens, but I think Control Warlock is just going to be really cool. If you played ladder in the last few days, you've probably seen people making use of new Jiraxxus. Essentially, Jiraxxus doesn't lower your health from 30 to 15 anymore. It just kind of keeps your base health. Most of the time this is a buff. I guess sometimes you can argue it's a nerf if you have less health, but in general this just makes the archetype so much better. It's no longer a threat to develop Jiraxxus because you're not just going to die if you take 15. The rest of this deck builds out kind of like you would expect Control Warlocks too. If you played Galakrond Warlock, you'll see a lot of the same cards in here. We have the Soul Package, we have Ticketus, we have, well, Melissa is part of the Soul Package, heck yes, whatever. We have Jiraxxus, as I mentioned, the Corrupt Package with the Charge, that previously mentioned Ticketus, and Corrupt Cascading Disaster, that card. This deck is just going to remove stuff from your opponent's board and then try to close out the game with cards like Ticketus, using Jiraxxus as a threat, or even the new legendary Tamsin Romy, I don't know, Homie, I don't really know. But this deck is going to aim to use these cards to generate value, close the game out, and just be overall annoying. The most interesting thing to me about this deck is the explosive sheep that we're including, just because this card is just dope. This card is a removal tool, it's a neutral removal tool, and I think that's cool. I think Control Warlock will be a lot of fun, and will be a very viable deck to play on the first few days of the expansion. If you enjoy it, grab the deck list from the description below, because all the deck lists will be in the description below. But yeah, this is the first deck that I'll be trying out on day 1 of Forged in the Barrens. The second deck that I'll be looking at today, or I guess playing on the first day of the expansion, is a type of like mid-range aggressive-ish shaman. Aggressive-ish shaman, that's like a tongue twister. If you've seen Jombre Shaman on ladder, the deck that runs a bunch of mid-range threats, cards like Dunk Tank and Nara Storm Crash, it's kind of something like that, but with some new cards. General game plan to the deck is to pressure out your opponent with your early board, then you can close it out either with medium-sized threats such as Inara, Ogremancer, or Roz, or I guess the new legendary Barukan, or you can just hit your opponent in the head with spells, such as Lightning Bolt, comboed with Barukan. Barukan is the new legendary. I believe it is a 4-mana 5/4, plus 3 spell power for nature spells, and coincidentally, cards like Lightning Bolt are nature spells, so you can deal a bunch of damage. This deck looking at this deck, it looks clean. It curves out 0 to 5, it doesn't go too high, it's not too low of a curve, it has mid-range threats, you can just pressure your opponent out. Barukan seems very good because it buffs spells such as Lightning Bolt. I believe Dunk Tank is also a nature spell, and Landslide, and that's a lot. That's a huge removal, huge burn. It just gives the deck so much flexibility and potential. The other new card we're featuring is Spawn Pool Forager, which is a 1-mana 3/2, spell power +1, overload +1. It's a 1-mana 3/2, man. That's aggressive. That is a good body, that contests board, that buffs your shit. We're running it. I think mid-range Shaman is going to be good. We're stop calling it Jombre Shaman because, well, Jombre didn't make this deck, but to me it's still in my heart Jombre Shaman. But anyways, I think this deck will be pretty good, and I suggest trying it out on day 1. The third deck that I'm taking a look at is going to be a type of tempo-ish rogue. I know what you're thinking, Luker, we've always played against the past like year and a half has been tempo rogue, but it's still going to be pretty good. Edwin might be gone, but Jandas is not, and this deck will probably perform pretty well. If you take a look at the list, you'll see it has a lot of the old cards that we've been featuring, such as Backstab Preparation, Shadow Step, Prize Plunderer, Secret Passage, I'm sorry Zeddy, my bad bro, Wand Thief, Swindle, Foxy Fraud, etc. All the good rogue cards, not to mention Jandas. Ogremancer's also in the deck. It's just, I think a lot of people will be playing a bunch of spells on the first day, so it probably makes the way into a few lists. There's consideration running the Watch Post instead, but it has a less powerful body, whatever, doesn't matter. Also the cards on taunt. Anyways, the new cards that I think make this deck a little bit over the top are things such as Field Contact, the 3-mana 3/3, that when you play Battle Cry or combo card, you draw a card. Spoiler alert, Prize Plunderer is a Battle Cry. Oh my god, Prize Plunderer is kinda broken if it draws a card every time you play it. Also, just other cards like Foxy Fraud, Wand Thief. This card is it's made for tempo rogue. This card is just good. Mankirk also makes its way into the deck. Might be more of a meme, but I want to find Mankirk's wife. I feel like we owe it to him. So Mankirk also finds its way into the deck. The 2 other new cards are Efficient Octobot, which is the 2-mana 1/3 or 1/4 Frenzy. If it Frenzy triggers, it discounts all the cards in your hand by 1. That's really good with Field Contact. Also, sometimes you can play this on like 2 and then backstab it, or pen it, whatever, it takes damage. And the next turn you can play Jandas on 3 with coin, or just on 4. It's kind of pog. And the last new card is Kazakus because Rogue doesn't have any good 4-drops. So we play Kazakus, we make some golems, it's fun. As Aya Blackpaw once said, golems are a girl's best friend, and I may not be a girl, but I still love me some fucking golems. The fourth deck on this list is perhaps one of my favorites with, I don't know what to call it, I guess Control Warrior, Tempo Warrior, Warrior, probably Control Warrior, it has armor gain. Anyways, this deck to me just looks sick. It has 1-drops, it has removal spells, it has weapons, it has draw, it has Ysera. What else do you need, man? I just don't know what else you need. I think this deck looks pretty sick. One thing I forgot to mention before, and I probably should mention it now because I don't want to re-record, but my good pal ZLSJS helped me build all these decks. I'll probably put that in the comments or in the description, but as I said, codes are there, you can grab them. I'm blinking a lot, my hair is long, I feel like I'm having a stroke. Anyways, Control Warrior. The deck plays out like most control decks. You hero power, you draw cards, you remove your opponent's board. They cry, they're not having fun. They go to their mother and they're like, Mom, I'm not having fun. And they're like, get off Hearthstone, then dumbass. And you're like, Mom, I'm sorry. And you're laughing and eating your food. It's great. The new cards in this deck, well, I guess I should start with the base cards, the normal cards, Armor Vendor, Shield Slam, general removal tools such as Shield Slam, Sword and Board, Minefield, Bladestorm, etc. Kargath makes an appearance in this list alongside Stage Dive to draw Kargath sometimes because that's pretty sick. The new cards, though, those are the spicy ones. Fuck the old cards. New cards are Outrider's Axe, which is the 4-mana 3/3. Draw a card when this kills a minion. This is one of my favorite cards in the set, so I'm excited to play with it. Rancor is another one of my favorite cards in the set. Deal 2 damage to all minions, gain 2 armor for every one that you've killed. It's just, I like armor gain and I like removal. To me, this card's dope. Probably tilting if you're an aggro player, though. And the last new card, I guess arguably last new card, is Morshawn Elite. 5-mana 4/4. If you've swung with weapon, summon a copy. I think it has taunt. You know, I don't want to lie to you guys. Morshawn Elite. Hopefully that typing wasn't too loud. Morshawn Elite is a 5-mana 4/4 taunt battle cry. If your hero attacked this turn, summon a copy. I probably should look that up before I started recording, but YOLO. Anyways, last new card, depends how, you know, logistics, new cards, core set. Ysera the Dreamer, just value tool. I think it's gonna be a good control deck, and it is one of the decks I'm looking forward to playing the most. If it is good, I think it might be annoying because every other deck will just be obsolete. If control's broken, then everything else isn't fun. But I'm excited to see how it does. And with that, let's jump into the last deck in this video. Okay, so the last deck in this video is one that I think is probably broken. It's probably just the best deck in the game. Aside from OTK Demon Hunter, that's probably the best deck in the game. But it's the deck that I'm most excited to play, and that is Token Druid. If you saw my review video or stream, or just asked me on stream my favorite card was, I think Guff Rune Totem, the legendary, is broken. 3-mana 2/4. After you play a nature spell, give another friendly minion +2/+2. If you guys haven't realized, a lot of Druid's chief spells are nature spells. Wild Growth, I believe Nature Studies, Doorbell Infestation, Innervate, Lightning Bloom, I believe all those are nature spells. One of them might not be, but I believe most of them are nature spells. That's crazy. You go Gibberling, we play like Guff Rune Totem, Gibberling, Innervate, you shit your hand out, your opponent just dies. And that is insane. I think Token Druid is already a strong deck, it's not losing too much. It is losing Savage Roar, but you have Arbor up, which is just more expensive Savage Roar. And I think with the cards that are rotating out of the set in general, and the cards that new classes were given, I think it'll be very hard for them to clear a couple sticky boards. I think decks might be able to defeat 1 or 2 Token Druid boards, but after the first Gibberling board, you make a second. Then you play Glowfly Swarms. Oop, I punched my mic. Then you play Glowfly. Then you go Solar Eclipse, Arbor up. Eventually, your opponent's just going to succumb to the pressure, and I think that this deck will just overwhelm most opponents. I think there's a pretty good chance that Token Druid is the best deck in the meta. OTK Demon Hunter, I don't know. I'm skeptical. I think OTK Demon Hunter is going to be a class of its own, but I do think this will probably be the best deck in the meta, and I'm expected to see this performing very well. I could see Guff being nerfed. Maybe it won't be. Maybe I'm overestimating. The other new card in this deck is Thorngrowth Sentries, which is the 2-mana. It's like the card we have now. Instead of summoning 2 1/2s with Lifesteal, it's 2 1/2s with Taunt, and they're turtles, and turtles are cool. This deck looks pretty good. Let me know what you guys think about this deck in the comments below, because I personally think this might break the game. What deck do you guys think will break the game, though? That was my YouTuber transition. And with that, let's go to the conclusion. The one thing I've noticed when recording YouTube videos is, I don't do this on stream, but when I'm recording YouTube videos, I'm like dancing with my hands the whole time, and I'm like Italian, and it's weird. But anyways, guys, that was my 5 decks that I was the most excited for the expansion, and I'd love to hear what decks you guys are excited for in the comments below. Excuse me. This expansion's cool. I think it's a little bit low power level, but I'm still excited. The main reason I'm excited, though, is for the rotation. The rotation looks phenomenal, and I cannot wait. I'm very excited to see how the game shapes up. I'm excited that we're losing Highlander, we're losing Lackeys, we're losing a lot of the hero cards. To me, that's just dope. To me, that everything that's been wrong with the game is rotating out, and hopefully the devs stray away from stupid things and we get cool things. There are some still problematic cards that are going to be in the game, such as Secret Passage, but for the most part, I'm pretty excited to see where things go. If you guys enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It'll help me out a ton. I'm full-time with this. My next year will be determined on what my life is, so your support would help me out a ton, guys. I hope you're as excited for the expansion as I am. Peace out, Cub Scouts. I will see you guys next time. Much love. Bye.